types of men in her life. Basically, alphas and betas, right? Simps and pimps, chads and brads. Question you have to ask yourself is, which one are you? Are you the alpha or are you one of the betas in her life? Okay, are you one of the simps in her life or are you one of the pimps in her life? Are you one of the chads or are you one of the brads? Because most of the guys that are in a woman's life will tend to be betas, right? They will tend to be simps. They will tend to be these type of guys who are basically orbiters in her life, who are just kind of hanging around waiting for her to see the light and see that he's the one and pull her pants down and have sex with him, right? And become his girlfriend. For most women, that makes up the majority of guys in her life. 95% of the guys in a woman's life will tend to be thirsty beta simps that she basically puts up with. She uses these guys for validation. She uses these guys to pump up her ego, or whenever she's feeling down, she can just kind of like, use them for a quick hit of dopamine to make herself feel good about herself, right? 95% of the guys in her life are these type of dudes, right? Just low value beta orbiters that are in her friend zone. And then the other 5% of guys in her life are going to be those alpha chads, right? Those pimps. Those guys who are higher value. Those type of guys that she's going to look at romantically. Type of guys that she will want to pursue a relationship with, even though she's telling all these betas in her life, like, no, I'm just taking a break from relationships right now. You ever heard a girl say that? Like, I'm just taking a break from relationships right now. It's like, yeah, right. Yeah, taking a break my ass. So if Channing Tatum knocked on your door, you'd be taking a break, right? Some male model knocked on your door, you still taking a break? So a lot of these girls will tell these guys, like the 95% of beta orbiters in her life, I'm not really looking for a relationship right now, just to kind of keep them at bay. So they'll leave her alone. They'll stop trying to hit on her or say creepy things whenever they like message her or spend time with her to like insinuate that they're the guy that she should be with. She'll just tell them this to kind of, make sure they don't get out of the friend zone box. Whereas the 5% of guys she's not going to give the speech to. The 5% of guys she's actually interested in, those alphas, those pimps, right? Those chads, she's going to give them a different speech. She's going to be like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. What are you looking for? Are you looking for anything long term? I mean, she's basically going to be looking to peg these guys down. It's always funny too, because all of a sudden, like, she'll get in a relationship with one of these guys, like the 5% of the alphas that in her life, and then the 95% of betas will be like, whoa, when did this happen? You said you weren't looking for a relationship. I thought you didn't want a boyfriend. I thought you wanted to be single. I thought you wanted to like find yourself first. Who's this guy? And then they'll just start hating on this guy, right? Because he got in. Understand, every woman has two types of guys in her life: alphas and betas. And it's really up to you, based on your actions, based on your interactions with her, where you end up, right? I mean, if you say you meet this girl and all you do is supplicate to her, validate her, praise her, pedestalize her, right? You're just going to end up in her friend zone. Whereas when you don't do those things and you actually challenge her, hold her accountable, right? Call her out whenever she says something dumb or stupid, correct her when you need to. Instead, you'll end up one of these 5%ers, right? In this rare 5 percentile that she views as strong, that she views as alpha, that she views as masculine, versus the other 95% that she views as weak, spineless, beta. Can't even be themselves around her. They have to filter everything they say to her. They have to manage the impression they give off to her because they don't want to mess it up, right? They don't want to offend her. They want to make sure that she's comfortable around them. Where the 5% of guys that she falls for, that she ends up having sex with, these guys don't give a shit about that. They're not living in her reality. They're living in their own reality. they don't care what she thinks of them because they're not filtering themselves. They're not trying to manage their impression. Instead, they are acting through their own intentions. A big lesson I teach you in pickup: act through your own intentions. And by doing that, they are pulling the girl into their reality. The girl is experiencing them versus the other way around. Whereas the guys who end up in this 95 percentile of thirsty betas in her friend zone, those guys are experiencing her. She's never experiencing them. When you're in this 95 percentile of beta orbiters, thirsty betas trying to get with this hot girl, you'll notice she doesn't really know a whole lot about you. And even the things she does know about you, she just doesn't care. She's not invested in you. You can tell when you have these conversations with you, it's like she doesn't care. If you like, oh, girl, hey, I got that promotion I was telling you about at work. Oh my God, they just promoted me to manager. Remember I was working so hard for this for 6 months? She'll be like, oh, yay, yay. Yay, that's so great. I'm so happy for you. It's not a romantic congratulations as she would like one of these 5 percentiles. He'd be like, girl, remember that management shit I told you about? Boom, got it. She'd be like, you are so badass. It's not even funny. You're so hot. Of course they're gonna give it to you. Of course you're you, right? She'd just be like praising you. Why? Because on this end, with the 95% beta orbiters, they are experiencing her. Okay, on this end, with the 5% alphas, she is experiencing them. Feel the difference? Feel the difference? And I've done a coaching video on this as well, that in order for the girl to develop romantic feelings for you, sexual feelings for you, where she wants to be with you, she wants to become your girlfriend, she wants to dedicate herself to you, she needs to be experiencing you. She needs to be living in your reality. She needs to synchronize her brain to your brain. Okay, not the other way around. Because if it's the other way around and you're living in her reality, you're experiencing her, you're synchronizing your brain to all of her likes, all of her different tastes in movies, food, clothes, restaurants, whatever. If you're synchronizing to her, this is where you end up on the 95% beta orbiters. You'll notice there's this emotional detachment. She doesn't care. Right? She doesn't care. It's like she's just emotionally detached from you. Yeah, she's happy for you, but she doesn't care. Anything you tell her about yourself, that you think is going to attract her more, you might brag about, oh, I'm going to buy this car next week, girl. This new Porsche. I'm getting a raise at my job. Oh, I'm going to be making so much more. She's just like, oh, that's great. I'm happy for you. But there's like an emotional disconnect. It's like, she just doesn't care about me the way I want her to care about me. Whereas on the 5%, she does, right? And it's very effortless too. We don't have to like play the fake nice guy. We don't have to pretend we're someone we're not. We don't have to manage our impression. We don't have to filter everything we say through this polite friend filter. We're just raw and unfiltered, right? We're raw and unfiltered. We just tell it like it is. We're comfortable in our own skin. We feel good in our own body. We don't need to hide who we are. We're proud of who we are. And that's why the girl becomes attracted. And it's effortless because that's who you are. You're not trying to shield yourself. So, very important that you understand whenever you meet a girl, whether it's through cold approach, social circle, your gym, work, wherever, right? She's automatically, instantly going to categorize you as either one of the 95% of beta simps that is going to join her friend zone, her growing population of male friends in her life, or is going to be that very rare, unique, limited 5% of alpha men in her life that she actually develops feelings for, romantically, sexually, that she wants to be with, and potentially, long term, maybe even marry, right? If you want to be in that category. So, every woman has this, guys. Every woman has these two types of men in her life, alphas and betas. The only difference is the majority of men in her life are always going to be those betas. Those 95% of betas that are trying to get in her pants but have made just too many wrong turns along the way, usually in the very beginning. Usually in the very beginning is where you seal your fate. Okay, and this is why you take programs like mine, you learn a little game, you learn a little pickup, so you don't get categorized with these 95% of guys so fast. Right? Instead, you'll be categorized here with the 5% of guys that she sees as higher tier, as higher value males, and not these lower value males. Right? Because believe me, when a girl meets a guy who she deems as high value, that's in this 5 percentile, that she's willing to risk a 9-month investment in potentially getting pregnant with, when she meets this type of guy, believe me, that guy's special. That guy's special. This is the type of guy that she will drop everything for. She'll cancel plans with her girlfriends to go out with this guy, to see him, to spend time with him. She'll cancel plans with family, right, to be with this guy. Will she ever do that for these 95% of betas in her life? No. She'll never do that for these guys. Never. But these 5% of dudes that she seems like as high value males, that she sees as high value males just because she knows they're so rare, she's always going to move her schedule aside to invest with these guys because she knows the ROI, the return on investment, is much greater than it is with these 95% of beta orbiters. So just remember that. Every time you meet a girl, she's going to classify you, okay? She's instantly going to classify you. Sometimes it's as quick as her just making eye contact with you, right? And this is why I teach you about that, having that rock solid eye contact. When I see a girl that I'm attracted to, like right now I'm traveling, I'm here in the casino, here in the hotel, and a lot of times I'm walking around the casino floor doing a casino floor game, and sometimes I'll just walk by a girl randomly, pretty decent looking girl, might even be a cocktail waitress, and then you just happen to catch eyes, and then she looks, and sometimes you'll notice the girl will stare, right? Just out of like nervousness, what a lot of guys without game do is they just look away, right? They just feel like, oh, it's a polite thing to do, I'll look away. I keep that eye contact, right? Even if I'm walking, I'll like walk, right? And kind of like a little smirk too, not like, none of that, right? Unless I'm being playful, but I'll just do a little smirk, right? And I'll just keep eye contact with the girl. And a lot of times that's been enough to open the girl, and the girl like, hey, it creates like instant attraction. But even by just doing that and holding the eye contact, you're already classifying yourself in the girl's mind as like, shit, this is one of the alphas, right? Even if you don't cold approach, or say you're with your girl, you can't do it, or say you're just, you're married, you can't do it. Some girl does that to you and you want to play around, right? She'll instantly classify you as one of the alphas in her head and not one of the betas, because she looks at you and you're like, oh, beta, 95%. Oh, he's one of the betas. So just remember that every time you see a girl. I mean, it's as simple as just making eye contact. The girl will classify you, whether you hold it or not, and even the way you hold it, right? Because if you try to hold it like, and you're just serious about it. I mean, I've had guys who are just so low value, they think that like the girl's making fun of them, and they're like, what, and then automatically she's like, I thought you were cute. Fuck this guy, and then he's beta. Right? So instead, just hold eye contact, comfortable in your own body. She's experiencing you, got a little smirk going on because you're living a life, you feel good about life, everything's great, life's a bowl of cherries, and she looks at you, you're like, right? You're just holding eye contact. Again, whether you approach her or not, right? She's automatically going to classify you as alpha. So, and if you're single and you're not with anybody and you got some game under your belt, you've been in my mastery program, I would hope you'd approach her, right? You might be a cool chick you could bring into your life. You don't know. Don't know until you approach, okay? That's another problem. Too many guys, they calibrate before the approach, whereas what I teach you guys as a pickup artist, you always calibrate after the approach. You don't know who this chick is. Don't put these things in your head. She must be a bitch. You don't know that. Talk to her first. And if she's a bitch, she's a bitch. If she's not, might be a cool girl. You don't know until you talk to her. You're not psychic. So this is why you got to talk to her. But always, when you see these girls, when you meet these girls, wherever it is, okay, wherever it is, work, gym, social circle, cold approach, just know that the girl is automatically going to classify you one of two of these types of men, alpha or beta. And the betas, 95%, alphas, 5%. You always want to be in the 5%. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets, signing out. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Go ahead and smash it right now. Also hit that notification bell right next to it so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Very important you subscribe. Helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Okay, YouTube doesn't like to promote my coaching videos. I wonder why, right? So I need your help, and the way you can help me is by actually subscribing to my channel, The 33 Secrets. That way you will be notified. You will be the first to know whenever I upload a awesome, high value, fresh coaching video to my channel. You'll be the first to hear about it. Okay? You'll get the notification on your cell phone. And you'll be like, oh, M just uploaded. Gotta watch this. So make sure you're subscribed as well. And for you guys who want to support all of this high value, high content, red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content that I am teaching you guys, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching you guys how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students out there all around the world are out there cold approaching and closing every single week. And I kid you not, we are making this happen every single week. No matter what type of racial division is going on in the world, no matter what type of virus is going on, we are continuing to go out there and cold approach these girls and take life by the balls, as I teach you to in my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery. And this is the absolute best way to support my work, and it's real easy to get signed up. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds, so do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.